Hello and welcome to From a Test to a Testimony. I'm Michelle Drew, and this is a space for real conversations with real people about the moments that changed everything, the seasons that tested them, the turning points they never expected, and the meaning that they discovered on the other side. These stories aren't about perfection or having it all figured out. They're about resilience, growth, and what happens when life takes an unexpected turn. I'm so glad you're here. So today we're talking with Mike Anderson. Mike has been married to his high school sweetheart and the love of his life, Debbie, for 38 years. They've been together for 45 years. They have two incredible children, and they're proud grandparents to three beautiful granddaughters. A third-degree black belt in, I'm going to let him say it again, in karate. Mike continues to teach and live the discipline he's practiced for decades. Professionally, Mike spent 21 years in law enforcement with the Oswego County Sheriff's Department, retiring as a criminal investigator. During his career, he served in every role on the SWAT team. He worked undercover with the Drug Task Force and later went on to work in nuclear security as a firearms and general topics instructor. His test to testimony story is powerful and deeply moving. I actually hope that I can get through it. I've got my tissue just in case. So, Mike, thank you so much. We're picking up where we left off the last time, where you survived a pretty horrific motorcycle accident and you got a message from Jesus, don't die for her. And that's where we're going to pick up today. Can you share with us?
Yeah, I'll say it again, Kyokushin.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
it next time. But yeah, if anybody tuned back in after the first one, we're doing good, Michelle.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some we'll get some word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like I described earlier, when the trauma surgeon looks at you and said you should be dead. Why are you not dead? He kept saying that. I go, stop saying that.
Stop saying that.
And the first conscious thought is, this accident scene is like, I look out my window, it's right there. I could see the house. Like I
Wow.
was 200 yards from my house.
Goodness.
So crazy. But my first
Wow.
conscious thought, don't die for her.
Mm,
Not you can't. Don't die for her.
yeah.
That's it. It kept in my head, it kept going. Like, okay, pull it together, man. Let's go.
Mm,
And as you know, a lot of people out there know, but we'll go over it. For a while, I'm like, well, why didn't I die? You go through all these things, near death experiences, and everybody out there has had something in their life, maybe not as close, but
mm,
you start to wonder, why didn't I die? What happens if I do die? That in my dreams, that accident ended differently, like 100 different ways. I'd shoot up and whoa, I'm alive and stuff. But that message to me, that don't die for her, I thought was just, we're not done yet. She needs you. We've been together so long. We got grandkids. Since then, our daughter's gotten married, and maybe she's going to give us some grandkids. So that's all I thought it was. I thought it was,
mm,
she needs you to take the garbage out, or cut the grass, or just be with her, hold her hand, make bad jokes. But between my accident and the day I'm going to talk about, I'll throw one thing in there so it's kind of sets up a story. I had some other tests done in my life too. So um, Deb had she found a lump on her breast, and I always went with her. Even though when I was still working, I always went with her. But now it afforded me the opportunity to be with her every day.
yeah.
I had never gone back to work. I could not go back to work. I was trying. I was trying to
Mm,
rehab hard and go back, but you don't want somebody with a brain injury holding on to guns and telling people what to do with them. So, but I'm blessed, and I want everybody to know that. I've always, how are you? People would say, how do you feel? I'm blessed. I'm
yeah.
blessed. I'm blessed. I can do the things I want to do with the people I want to do and help people. I'm
Right.
blessed.
Right.
So this particular day, we're going to Syracuse again. You go to Syracuse hospitals, and Deb has a follow up, the breast clinic that we've been a patient of for years. I go up, he has a test done, we come back home. So on this day, she goes in and she's had to have a mammogram and a uh, sonogram because that's the way she wanted it always. That's how she set it all up. So I'm out in the waiting room doing my thing like I always do, waiting for her to come out. And here comes the nurse, Mr. Anderson. First, I looked for my father. Said, yeah, you can come back. That's weird. I don't usually go back, but okay, let's go. So I go back and they lead me not where she usually goes for the test. They lead me back in a little bit, and I go in this room, and she's got a look on her face, just dumbfounded. Like, I said, "What's up?" And the stenographer gentleman who had been doing this for 30 something years says that I've been doing this for 38 years. You have breast cancer. And I looked at her and she looked at me, and I won't say it. I said, what the did he just say? And I got mad. I go, what? So now we're trying to figure out how can you tell from a test, and you need a biopsy and all this stuff, and things just start moving fast, right? Got you scheduled for a biopsy tomorrow, but I'm telling you, and this guy, God bless him, he's going out on a limb, even saying this, right? But he says, I've been doing this for 38 years. You have breast cancer. It's all right there. We're going to get the ball rolling. So this whole thing took a little bit longer than it normally does. I had an appointment probably half a mile from where she's at that if you don't show up for, they charge you for it. Plus, it was test results. I needed to go. So I get her in the car. Of course, we're crying. What if this? What if that? Your mind's just gone, just racing. She wants to call her babies. She's calling my daughter. She's calling my son. I drive the half a mile down to my doctor's office after I called, said, listen, I'm not blowing you off. I'm on my way. I leave her in the car crying, talking to our children, which, okay, that's made me feel a little better. And I went into the office. I check in, they call me, I go back in. Doctor comes in, he says, you had an MRI. There's something there. I want to do a biopsy. I looked right at him and I said, is this something that's going to kill me in 6 months? And he went, what? I said, is this something that's going to kill me in the next 6 months? Well, no. I said, good. I'll be back in 6 months. My wife's in the car crying. She just got diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm leaving. And I walked out. And they called me and set an appointment up for 6 months later. So, so it started there. Deb's got the best personality anybody ever find, right? And she's go, 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 go. So we leave there that day. Then next morning, we've got a biopsy in that same office. We're coming right back. So we came right back. Within not too long after that, we've got an oncology appointment with fantastic people. There's a lot of things that they don't tell you, and anybody that's gone through it, either themselves or with a family member, there's a lot of things that they don't tell you along the process. They tell you what you need to know, and when something happens, they go, oh yeah, that happens. Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, I can't tell you everything, right? So we go for our first appointment, and it's just a checklist of, you can do this, you can do this, you don't do this, right down through. This is how you should live. Keep going. This is the vitamins you should take, the whole shooting match. So we listened to that. That was a nurse practitioner. Now we're going to go talk to the oncologist. And the oncologist, you can tell she opens the door. She's a spitfire, just like my wife. So she comes in, and I think in between this, we had one more meeting with a different surgeon. But she had explained what cancer, how it works, how it explodes, and how it goes here, and how it's moving here, and all this other stuff. Weren't going to have surgery. Go see the oncologist. Okay. So again, we're catching up with the story. It's just the brain injury thing. Oncologist comes in. You can tell she's a spitfire, right? She's from Dana-Farber in Boston. She's moved up here, so we know she's got good qualifications. Of course, I can control the things I can control, and I can check these things out before I take her anywhere, or I'm taking her somewhere different. She walks in the room, and she starts to explain to Debbie what cancer is and how it evolves. This is awesome. My wife goes, stop. I don't care. How do I win?
Yeah.
She gets a little pep in her step, the oncologist. She's like, oh, okay, I got a good one here.
Yeah.
And ever since then, she has said, your attitude is better than anything in the entire world.
Yeah.
Your attitude towards something is what determines if you're going to succeed or not. Back in the SWAT days, you do all these case studies to teach your team and stuff. And there was two guys. One guy got shot in the leg with 22 caliber, which is a small caliber cop. And he started screaming and yelling, and he laid down, gave up, died. Another guy does an entry, comes in, gets shot right here, point blank right here. Bullet goes up around, comes flying out the back. And split, bleeding everywhere. Just kept going with the raid, kept going, got outside. I'm going to be all right. I'll be fine. And he lived. He was fine. So your attitude toward woe is me, I'm going to lay down and die,
Yeah.
cannot happen. Your
No.
fortitude has to go. You got to
Yeah.
get it in your head that I'm going, whether it's business, whether it's personal life, whether it's lifting a car off somebody that you've all heard that one.
Right. Right.
So when she said that, and I know my wife, she's not going to be beat by anything. We're going to go. Here we go. How do I win? So they set us up on the path, right? She had, I don't even know, in the 30s rounds of chemo. Some weeks we were up there 5 days a week. She only got refused chemo once because her blood count was low because she kept her supplementation going.
Yeah.
The isotonics, and it kept it perfect.
Yeah.
And we're listening to all these people. You got to go home, take this vitamin, knowing it's not going to work. We're trying to help people here and there and
Right.
everything,
Right.
which we did end up helping some people.
Yeah.
So we go through, man, the chemo is different. They start you with whatever cytobolin or whatever it is. And then every third treatment, she would have Keytruda. And uh, Debbie doesn't get scared.
No.
She doesn't show it. But the first time they put that needle in her port to give her that chemo, you could just see it in her
Really.
eyes. And I'm sitting there, I'm helpless.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do? I pray.
Yeah.
I have good thoughts.
Yeah.
And I do whatever I can.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the first one that goes in, she has a reaction. Her heart
Oh.
starts racing. They give her Benadryl. And if you know Deb, half a glass of wine, she's sleeping, right? So they give her this Benadryl and she is out cold, right? So she does that then they go from the first type of chemo and the Keytruda to a second type of chemo that you're not supposed to call it, but they call it the Red Devil because it's a syringe about that big around, and it's red, and
Oh.
it's poison,
Yeah.
you know. So now we go through that, and she goes through all of this, and we get done with the chemo Keytruda combination.
Mm.
She might get a little bit of time off, I can't remember, but now we're going back once a week every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks we're going to come in now. Before it was like every other day
Wow.
for months. So we go in, and I was with her every single one. One time
Hmm.
I got a doctor's appointment. I send somebody else. I'll meet you there and pick her up, but you got to bring her, blah, blah, blah. She has a really bad reaction.
Oh.
So they stop. They pull her off everything. They give her Benadryl. They give her all these other, drugs to stop it. Like, okay, just a bad reaction.
Yeah.
We'll come back in 3 weeks. So we come back in 3 weeks, and I think that it happened to her. No, we come back in 3 weeks, and it happens again. Her
Oh
heart rate
man.
drops, her blood pressure skyrockets, and that's not done. Her blood
No.
pressure is like 90 over 60 all the time.
Oh.
And it was bad. And if anybody wanted to contact me about my journey and what to expect, that's fine. I'll tell you that I slept 2 hours a night, if that. I
Right.
watched her breathe all night long. She doesn't
Right.
know any of this. I stayed awake in case
Right.
something happened. I
Right.
can control the things I can control. I don't need to sleep. I'll be good.
Right. Right.
But she had another bad reaction. And that was a particular night that I stayed up the entire night, the entire day, just making sure no reactions were going to happen.
Right.
So now
Right.
we're getting dragged back in to see the oncologist, and we talked, and I said, we can't do this anymore. I'm
No.
not going to jeopardize your health right there, right then. We got to stop. And I
Mm.
didn't say it because I can't. It's not my decision to make.
Yeah.
It's hers.
Mm.
My thing is to support her.
Mm.
She said it to me. I can't do it anymore. We're done. So we
Yeah.
go to the doctors, and the first conversation is, "This is your body telling us that you're done. We can't do it anymore." Like, good, blessing.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Great.
so
Now,
she
as the
knew.
caregiver, I mean, we heard your background, your history. You had an accident that would have killed 90% of the people out there. You're a man's man. How did it feel to not be able to fix it and make it all better for your girl?
That was horrible.
Yeah.
It's still
I
horrible.
mm,
And what I would say to her, and she would get very mad at me, is, I wish it was me, not you.
yeah.
I'd take it in a second.
Yeah.
I'd take it with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. But I don't want to
Right.
watch you go through this. You know, that's
Right.
that's difficult. And I've said this several times now. I can only control the things that I can control.
Right.
So it was, and I knew eating was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So it was, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Whatever she said at that second, I got it right away to get
Yeah.
her to eat. And she
Right.
knew she had to eat.
Yeah.
And now she'll laugh with you now. So on the way home, I'd stop at Wegmans and get two lobster tails and two filet mignons, and I'd cook them for her. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat until she ate all of it. Because if she didn't, I was giving her mine.
Ah,
She would force herself to eat. And it became very
right.
routine of, I like these things until I don't one
Right.
day. I don't. Like macaroni and cheese, gluten-free macaroni and cheese. She would eat it. Like, okay, whatever you want, just
Yeah.
eat it. You want junk
Yes.
food, you get it. You get it. And she ate clean and she ate good.
Good.
But it was an ever evolving thing, because we're not going through that. And I'm like, yeah, I want this. Yeah, maybe not. In 20
Right.
minutes, I don't want, So it was like,
Right.
I had all this stuff prepared. I was like, what do you want? Bam, got it. Here it is. Here it is right here. So, it would go on. So
Yeah.
you can only control those things. Getting
Mm,
her in and out of the car, getting there safely, making sure she had snacks in the car, making sure the car's warm, making sure the
mm,
bedroom's warm, making sure, the things that I can control.
right.
Because I certainly cannot control what's going to happen here,
Right.
right? I can pray for it. I can have the best of thoughts. I can make everything comfortable,
Mm,
um, but I can't control it. God controls it. So,
right.
um,
Right.
and I think it helps me now in life knowing that I got that hug. That's the
Mm,
warmth. That's your eternity. This is not,
right.
you know, but I wanted it to be me. I don't want it to be you.
Right.
I can do this,
Yeah.
even though I know she can.
Yeah.
She's toughest woman I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
For sure.
we went through all that,
Yeah.
and then it was time for surgery. Surgery couldn't happen here because she wanted it all done in one day, everything done. So we went to Rochester.
Yeah.
Um, the first surgery was good.
Mm,
Um, the anesthesiologist listened to what we were saying. She was a wonderful woman. Put her cheek up against Deb's and gave her
wow.
visualizations. And Debbie's all about that, anyways.
Yeah.
And like find some wood and knock on it, because I've never had per se a surgery. I've had procedures done, but never a surgery. So I don't know what it's like to have anesthesia. They tried it once on me, it didn't work. And I was wide awake. I was like, this is not good.
No.
So for the anesthesiologist to listen to her, because she's had problems in the past, that
Right.
surgery went well. She stayed a day, I think, or two, and then I got her home. Learned to be a nurse with all the drains and everything. Did well, got her back. Boom. She had two subsequent to that.
Mm,
Um, the last one she had. Now Debbie's the kind of person that has faith and
mm,
isn't scared, and they wheel her into the operating room with enough. No, I don't want that pill. Just bring me in there. She gets in there. She starts saying, okay, what's your name? What are you doing? What's your name? What are you doing? What's your name? What are you doing? And then she'll go, okay, I'm ready. Let's go to sleep. And out she goes.
Wow.
So the second, she had 3 surgeries. The second one went okay. The third surgery, they didn't listen,
Mm.
even though I'm standing there, and sometimes you wonder perspective. Is he's just the meddling husband that, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, wants to say this?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm the one that's going to make sure she's okay. And I'm going to tell you that she has an allergic reaction to this. So she got the gas the first 2 times. It was okay. Last time they decide, oh, must be the gas that's bothering her. We're going to give her fentanyl. Must have
Oh,
been, it must have been propanol or fentanyl, whatever. But she came out and white as a ghost and out of it, like out of it. Like I am conversation, and we're supposed to go home. This is outpatient. And I'm like,
wow.
conversation, I'm waking her up. I'm trying to give her stuff to drink. I'm shaking her. I got the kids on the phone, the baby's pictures. We're doing all this stuff. Now, this
Oh,
is almost midnight. Surgery center's closing in the hospital. And they're like, we're either going to admit you or you're going to go home, but you have to get up and walk a little bit. And she's like, okay. Yep. Breathing, not going home or going
no.
home. I go get the car. I get her there. And it was very obvious that they overdosed her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible, terrible. So now I'm an hour and 15, 20 minutes from my house that I have to drive her, right? And it's kind of chilly out. So I get her in the car, get the pillows and everything, lock her in, seatbelt, ba, ba, ba. I got her phone. I get out of the city of Rochester, and now I'm on a pretty straight. I know where I'm going. I handed her phone. I said, call your cousin Lori and start talking. And I put the window down. So the breeze, she
Yeah.
got on the phone. She called the kids, of course. Obviously, she calls the
Yeah.
kids first. She
Right.
got on the
Right.
phone with her cousin Lori, and they just chit chatted all the way to Oswego because I knew the more oxygen exchange is happening, the more stuff is coming out of her system.
Right.
But
Right.
I got her
Right.
home again. Stayed up all night to make sure she didn't slip back into that.
Wow.
So, I mean, you saw her. Yeah, she lost her hair. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. I couldn't believe it, because it's coming out,
Yeah.
and I'm chasing behind her and I'm picking it up, getting her so she can't see it, and she sees me,
Right.
but it's because she'll tell you, hey, I saw you picking it up.
Yeah.
So, but she finally calls her friend Kathy to come out, and she's like, you got to get rid of it. It
Yeah.
hurts. It hurts.
Mhm.
Which they don't tell you. It hurts coming out. So
Oh.
shaves her bald. And I'm telling you, I looked in her eyes. I go, you are absolutely beautiful,
Yeah.
stunning. And you
Mm,
saw her. Everybody
I
saw her.
did.
So,
Yeah.
but so it went from that to it grew back gray. It turned back blonde, and everything was good. We're going along swimmingly. She's, got the port taken out. Chemo was over with. The checkups were
Um,
great. Um, Daughter got engaged to get married. That was last October, not 25, 24. So we're all
yeah.
excited. Going to have a wedding. Um, Deb's great at planning parties and weddings and fundraisers, and
Yeah.
this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So it was January of last year, January to February, bad snowstorm. I remember I took her to the eye doctor because she keeps seeing these little flutters, these little
Mm,
light shows. They got a light show, light show, light show.
yeah.
And this particular eye doctor has all the gadgets, can see behind the eye, can see everything.
Mm,
He does all these tests and says, your eyes are perfect. There's nothing there. Can't see anything. Okay. Well, we'll mention it next time we go to oncology. Okay. Mentions it. Well, she's probably getting an MRI. Deb's like, okay, if it'll make you guys feel better, I'll get an MRI.
mm,
So this is my time frame's off again. I apologize, but we're getting closer to it's probably August now
mm,
before they get the MRI going.
right.
And so we go to Syracuse to get the MRI, and there's a farm and garden shop not far from there, and they've got beautiful mums, and we want to get some mums for the wedding. And Michelle, I'll never forget. I will never forget this image as long as I live. I'm watching her look at these baskets of flowers, and the sun is shining on her. and she is just so happy because she's planning her daughter's wedding. And I'm like, look at that. Freaking made it through it, kicked its ass. We're going to have this wedding and we're just going to enjoy life. It's
Mm.
just this, it was just a warm feeling, just to see her not worried about stuff and enjoying it. She picks up her phone a little bit later and she's got a message from the oncologist. She says, something's wrong. I go, no, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Get in the van. We start heading. I'm driving toward the oncologist's office because I don't know what's going on. So we get in the van and she's got a message. Debbie, Dr. Putasari, please, please, please call me. And my heart sank. And she called her and she's on the phone. I got a brain tumor. This is like a month or so before my daughter's going to get married. I got a brain tumor. So I drive her right over there, and they're great to her there because she's great to them. We go right upstairs. They put us right in a room, and of course, just clinging on to each other, just a mess.
Yeah.
Just again, why? Why? Just leave her alone. Here's what I'm saying
Yeah.
to my God, just leave her alone. Do it to me, man. Just leave her alone. She doesn't
Yeah.
deserve this. She's a great person, And the oncologist comes in and she grabs her. She goes, Debbie, you're the strongest person I know. You're going to get through this too. You're going to be okay. I see people get this. You got a great attitude. You're going to be okay. And so the next day, we've got a meeting with uh, the radiology oncologist now, which is a different one, another
Mhm.
feisty little girl. So we go meet with her, and she's like, "Okay, this is what we got to do. We got to make this mold of your face. We're going to cyber knife. We're going to." It was back in the occipital bone back here, and we're gonna kill it all, and then you're going to go see a surgeon. So while I'm in the office with the first oncologist, I said, "Where do I go?" Because I'm going. I don't care. You want to go to Japan? We're going wherever the best surgeon. She looks at me. She goes, Mike, if this were my mother, father, husband, I'd go to this guy. I
Mm.
said, okay, as long as you're telling me that. She goes, no, I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
So, and the way they make things move is the next day is the radiology. The day after that's a surgeon. So we were like, boom, boom. We went in, met with him, and Caitlin's story. Caitlin had brain surgery when she was
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
And these guys are, to me, I said, I don't, the guy that did Caitlin's, I said, I would kiss you full on the lips if you let me. And laughing, I go, come on, you're the hand of God. You're the hand of
Yeah.
God. To,
Yeah.
to split somebody's brain open and pop
Right.
pop something out. So
Crazy.
we meet with the surgeon, and of course, you have to ask the question:
Yeah.
do I have time to have my daughter's wedding, or do I need to do this now?
Mm.
Nope, you're going to have the cyber knife this 5 days in a row, and then you're going to get a break, and then we're going to do the surgery right after the wedding. So put her on all sorts of
Wow.
medications. They did the surgery right after the wedding
Yeah.
on the 20th of November. Successful.
Yeah.
Everything went. He was like everything went great. Um,
Yeah.
there's again, things that they don't tell you, like there's a possibility you could have seizures.
Yeah.
So um, ended up in an ambulance going to get back to Syracuse because she was having seizures.
Wow.
Like, and I got mad at the nurse practitioner. I said, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't
Right.
you start her on the medication if everybody has this? And he's like, well, we don't like start people on medication that they don't need. Well, apparently she needed it, or you could have given it to me and told me how to prescribe it once this happened.
Right.
So now I just put her through this again. I just
Yeah.
put her in an ambulance, took her up there. I mean, we had all sorts of tests done and everything was fine. We came back
Yeah.
home and we've been home since. And she's doing great. She's doing
Yeah.
great. It's just, I guess, you find your blessings and you accept your blessings where they are.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
there's a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what do you do? What do we do?
Mm.
What do I do? When you can't control something,
Yeah.
what do you do? And that's
Right.
my question for people. You can't control something. What do you do? Do
Right.
you get mad? Do you substance abuse? Do you uh, withdraw? What do you do?
Mm,
what is the right answer? I can tell
right.
you what my right answer is.
Yeah.
I can't control it. I give it up.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Right. Right.
I have
That
to.
takes a very strong person.
It took me 60,
60
58,
years.
58, 59 years to get there
Yeah.
because I'm a
Yeah.
control freak. I mean, look
Mm,
where I come from.
right.
If I'm not on my A game, I'm not doing a good job. I'm not, you get
Right.
killed. So,
Yeah.
and seeing a lot of death and destruction in my life, you don't, uh, you don't have to deal with it because it's
Mm,
somebody else. I
right.
feel bad for you. I'm sorry for you, but it's somebody else.
Right.
When it's you, it's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have no, you have I guess you have a choice what you do. You really
Mm,
have. There's only one choice.
right.
What are you going to do? You
Right.
have to give it up to God. You have to pray and you have to have faith. And
Yeah.
we do. We
Yeah.
do. We don't have to. I've never had to prove my faith to anyone.
Mm,
I don't have to.
mm, mm.
It's the old joke. You don't talk about religion and politics and you don't see me talking about anything, do you?
No, no, never.
Because my feelings are my feelings.
Yeah.
And if I can help someone with them, I absolutely 100% will.
Yeah. Well, I
But
believe that you're helping a lot of people with these two episodes. I really
yeah,
do.
it's
I
uh
think,
it's it's a
yeah,
difficult journey.
yeah.
And you're right. I'd rather be in the other seat than this seat.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to highlight your story because we always hear about the person with the diagnosis and we kind of forget about the person behind the scenes helping that person to get through all that they need to get through and cooking for them and getting them in the car, warming the car up for them, making sure they have everything that they need, staying up all night watching, making sure that they're breathing and all of that. And without that, I mean, Debbie would have had, just, I think that you made it more doable. I mean, not
Yeah.
that Debbie can't do anything, she's
Right.
amazing,
Yeah, absolutely.
but just knowing like you have the knowing of the hug from Jesus. Deb
Right.
had the knowing that you were there for her come hell or high water. And what a blessing.
Yeah. And like I say, I'm glad. I'm mad that it happened to her. I
Right.
don't want it to happen to her, but I'm glad that I could be here for her. We talked about it just the other day. What if I died?
I know.
Where would you have been?
I know.
And again, not that she couldn't have done it herself,
Right.
but would she have wanted to?
Right.
And I don't, and through this journey, people have pulled me aside and said, "How are you?"
Right.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
One of my dear friends I saw in the store, and she's been going through this with her husband for years,
Mm,
and so her and I, I've known her since high school,
yeah.
and I give her a big hug. She gives me a hug, and how's Debbie? How's Rich? Blah blah blah. We go back and forth, and she goes, "How are you?" I looked at her. I
Mhm.
go, "How are you?" I go like this. She's hitting herself. She goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." I go, "Exactly. We do what we have to do for the other person." Now, that said, and I don't know how we are on time. It's easy for me to do something for the other person because I love that person and I
Right.
would do absolutely everything for her.
Right.
But when you do something for somebody that isn't that person, that's what it's about.
Mm,
Should try to give
yeah.
back to somebody else. Should try
Yeah.
to make it, and I'm not, again, it's everybody's personal journey.
Mm,
We say in karate, there's more than one path to the top of the mountain,
mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
that's your journey.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's I donate something to someone
Yeah.
or I give someone a meal or I help someone whose car is broke, whatever that means to you,
Right.
if there's one thing that I need to get better at and I often pray about is let me see opportunities to help people more
Mm.
clearly than just going about my own business. That's
I
where I
thought you
fall.
were going to say about receiving. I thought that,
I'm fine.
yeah. Yeah.
I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah. You're going to get an eternal hug.
As long
Yeah.
as Deb's there, I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, she'll be there for sure. Well, again, Mike, thank you so much for opening your heart and laying it all on the line and on the table for people to take away what they need to hear from your story. Yeah. So we'll
Yep.
close it out. Thank you for being part of
You're
this
welcome.
conversation. In this if this story I'm seeing through tears here. If this story spoke to you, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear from Mike. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye bye.